Being at different international camporees, I always had a hard time finding a big enough area for the boys to cook on. They usually have slab wood and stuff there, but half the time, by the time you get there, it's gone, so you don't have a whole lot. So I wanted to make something that I could use as a table. This box actually folds up or out into a table once you empty the contents out of it, okay? So anyway, I'm going to get started. Get to camp, you unload your gear out of it. The gear that goes in this box, that I pack in this box, stays out anywhere. It's my cooking grates, it's my pots and pans, my hatchet, saws, camp chair, buckets, fire water, all that kind of stuff. So that we don't have to worry about storing. So camp, put the legs in. We have a table. This box here is made out of 3/8 plywood. My two boxes are the first page there, or the second page, okay? The top box is this one made out of 3/8 plywood. The bottom box is made out of 1/2-inch plywood. And believe it or not, this box weighs 40 pounds empty, made out of 3/8. The one made out of 1/2-inch, which is a little bit smaller, actually weighs 39 pounds. So they're real close weight-wise, but this one is actually a little bit bigger. You go to the next plywood and your 3/4 strips. You take a look. The top piece is 18 by 48. The bottom piece is actually 47 1/4 by 17 1/4. It's made a little bit smaller. Reason for that, construction-wise, me being a carpenter, if you want something that's going to hold, if you would, how can I say this? If you would just nail the bottom onto the sides, more than likely, if you have a lot of weight in there, it could pull loose. Or if it's built into the sides, it's going to be a stronger joint. So that's why the bottom piece is smaller than the top piece. So I got my bottom piece of plywood, okay? I'm going to take some of my 3/4 furring strips, my lengths that fit, and I'm going to surround the bottom, okay? And what I'm going to do, you're going to want to glue these, preferably with an exterior glue, maybe a waterproof wood glue or a construction adhesive or something like that. And then I use 1-inch brad nails. You could use screws if you wanted to, but if you use screws, you might want to pre-drill because this pine might split. So if you have the access to a compressor with a brad nail or something like that, or you can even get the 1-inch hand brad nails, do that. Nail your strips on with glue. Okay, so this is your bottom. Then you're going to go to your end pieces. I think that's what I call them. Front, back, my side pieces, excuse me. You got two sides. I'm going to take, and I'm going to put glue on here. You're going to put it on a flat surface. Get your ends flush, and you're going to nail it in. Okay, that one's nailed on. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. You're going to glue it, you're going to nail it. This is where I'm talking about that joint. The bottom is in between the sides and it's going to be in between the front. So we got our sides nailed on. Then you're going to take your 3/4 furrings and you're going to nail them on your corners on the sides. Okay, so I got these two nailed on. I would also have these two nailed on here. Everybody follow me? Okay. Once you have those nailed on, we're going to go to the front and the back. Okay, now my sides are nailed on. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to nail my front and I'm going to nail that one on. Okay, and you're going to nail them into these furries that you have in the corners here.
But you glue all of them.
Glue them all. Yeah, whatever you're putting on, you glue. Anytime you got one of these, you're gluing to both sides. So I would glue here across the bottom and up here. Put it in place. You want to make sure that you're on a flat surface too, so you don't end up making the box warped. You know, try to keep all your edges nice and flush while you're nailing it. Okay? And if you do that, it'll square up nicely when it's done. So, just envision that that's built like that right now. Once those are in place, then you're going to put your other furring strip in here. And you're going to put your other one across the front right here. I have that right here. Okay, and you're going to nail those in. Okay? Once you have it that far, then you're going to put the top on. Put glue on the top. Take the top. And you're going to hold everything flat, flush, and you're going to nail the perimeter. So, we would end up having our box just like so.
How do you get into it if you nail the top one?
Okay. Once you have it built like this, you have to have access to a table. Okay. Here's our box constructed together. Okay. You're going to take this measurement, you're going to divide it in half, you're going to set up your table saw so that you're ripping right down the center. Okay? Push it through the table saw, turn it up on end, push it through, turn it over, push up on end. So you have two pieces. Now, once you rip it in half, your pieces are going to look like this. Right? Once you got it ripped in half, then you have to take, and this is a long one, there's actually some furrings that are short. Then you would take, put a furring here, put a furring there, and put your furrings in here. And you would, again, glue and nail those. Okay? And you would end up like this. That's what your furring's in there. Okay? Now, on the bottom portion of it, I have on that page with the furrings cut out, there's four pieces that are an inch and a half. Four pieces that are an inch and a half by 3/4 by inch and a half by 15 3/4. The bottom one there. Those go here, and the reason for that is because you need something for these these U-bolts are in on an angle, and it won't fit in a 3/4 board. It won't fit in a regular 3/4 by 3/4 because of the angle of it. So I went to an inch and a half so that you have some beef behind that's holding that eyebrow for your legs. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's where those inch and a half here, there. Once you have your box ripped in half, then you put those in. You got the same thing here and there. So because you have this side and this side over here, same thing. Make sense? Question? Okay. Then once you have all your furrings back in, strength-wise, I use a piano hinge just because you're going to get a whole lot more strength than if you had 2 or 3 separate hinges. Okay. Put your box back like this, and you would center your piano hinge and you would screw it into it. And your screws would actually go into this 3/4 furring right here. Okay. Once you have your hinges on, then it gives you, on the bottom of that page, it gives you measurements on where the U-bolts go. These are U-bolts that the legs slide into. They're 1.5 inch U-bolts. Okay. These pieces here, you're gonna have 4 of these. Use them as handles for carrying your box, but they are also used to support the legs. Okay. And
does the leg go into it or just up to it?
On the bottom corner here, I got that chunk of 2x4. It's 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch that I ripped.
Okay.
You drill a hole. It's what does it say on there?
One inch
an
by
inch and an eighth
3/4 deep.
wide hole by about 3/4 deep. So that the leg has something to rest into, and that's what keeps the leg from kicking out or going every which way. So, okay, these pieces here, again, glued. These I actually ran screws through from the inside. You can get it like 1.5" drywall screws or something. You can run some screws in there just to make sure, because you're going to be holding some weight on that. Plus, if you're carrying the box, you got weight on it that way too. So, and those get fastened right there. And then you can paint it up if you're so pleased to do so, which I would recommend putting some kind of finish on it because it's going to make it last.